So the previous video ended in with the selection phase, so we're going to move right in. We clarified the assignment. We talked about the 4 criteria. What do I need to accomplish? How much time do I have? What do I find personally interesting, and how much or what resources are available to me? So that leads us into the exploration phase. This is the most difficult stage in the search process because we're just looking for general information. We need to shore up our knowledge base. We're reading to become informed, and we're going to find a lot of inconsistent or irrelevant things or conflicting things. And so let's hop to it. So something that I always start with, if I'm not quite sure where to begin, we can start with the one search box and join the library's homepage and type in reading specialist and see what pops up. So I've got almost 1.3 million results. That's a bit daunting. Some are very out of date. Others, systematic school-wide reading mod, that might, if I click on this little folder here, that's going to save that item for later. Not sure if that'll be relevant, but I can always click on preview, and in most cases the abstract should be there, and it'll tell you some more information about the journal, the publisher, what database it's found in. Handbook of the K-12 Reading Resource Specialist. Sounds good to me. That's a book, but I can always get that through interlibrary loan. Synthesis of research on the role of the reading specialist. Sounds good. Save that one. 3 heads better than 1. Reading specialist, teachers and librarians. We'll save that one. Preparing reading specialists. The role of the reading specialist. Sounds good to me. So I've got 5 articles out of these first 12. Not quite sure, just kind of putting things in my back pocket, trying to get a broad range of things. If I click on that folder in the upper right-hand corner, I can either print this list out and save it for later, or I can email it to myself, or you can kick all of these to RefWorks, which is a citation management software we subscribe to here in Joiner. I highly recommend getting to know RefWorks, especially as you move through your program. And we have a tab called Citation Management on the Graduate 101 Research Guide that will help you become better acquainted with RefWorks and how it works. But we need to move on from here. One other thing I like to do, just to pick up some background information, I will Google. Reading specialist, only 24 million results. One thing I'll do is I'll put quotation marks around it, and that forces the search engine to look for those 2 words in that exact form, reading specialist, and everything we do. And so I was able to kick it down to 472,000 results. So I'm understood.org, Literacy Worldwide, International Literacy Association. I'll take a look at those. ETS, the Educational Testing Service, Pinterest, job ad, certification from Wikipedia. I think let's take a look at what we got. Not quite sure for learning and attention issues. This, I believe, is an organization that focuses on special education in students with disabilities, but grade school, response to intervention, middle school, high school, and remember we want to keep that K through 12 background. So I think we'll be okay with here and keep this one in our back pocket. International Reading Association position statement. This is and remember, we're just getting some general information. We're trying to find some other keywords that we can search with reading specialist. So just kind of flipping through, looking at the key headings, instruction, assessment. There's a nice little graphic here, staff development, resources, literacy program, leadership. So that gives us some ideas of terms that we can use going back to the databases and to search with reading specialist and instruction, reading specialist and assessment and leadership. Another great resource to use is the ERIC Thesaurus. If you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend becoming familiar with it. It's my go-to source when it comes to trying to find education-specific terms, official education-specific terms that authors use and databases use to describe abstracts, to describe and pull keywords from. And so it'll help us with our search later on. And so all we're doing here, research, it's strategic exploration. The more time, if we do our due diligence and spend our time gathering keywords and ideas and terminology in the beginning, it'll make the search process so much easier as we go on. So let's look at reading specialist. Nothing. And that happens. Research is never a linear process. Let's look at reading. So there's a ton of different things. And as you'll see here, this is actually one of the top level terms. And so a lot of all these other terms, related words on the right, are going to stem from, we got reading habits, reading improvement, reading instruction, reading interests, and so on and so forth. And you can, reading strategies, reading teachers. And so you can go down a rabbit hole of all of these different keywords and just keep going and going and going and finding related terms, narrower terms, and things like that. But I encourage you to check out the ERIC Thesaurus and find some terminology that you might come across in the databases. And so that's it right now. In the exploration phase, we got some general information on what the role of a reading specialist is. We got some stuff on elementary, middle grades, and high school. We got some keywords to use, assessment, instruction, program development, and a few other things. In the next video, we'll start digging into the databases.